Friday's ruling by the Supreme Court hit close to home for congressional candidate Jeannine Lee Lake, who's running in November to represent Indiana's 5th congressional district. And that's because Lake says she herself in college had an abortion and she used to be ashamed of it. But now she says the experience is about to become part of her message on the campaign trail.
I always said, if I was going to run for Congress, what if it came up? What if everybody found out?
So instead of waiting for that day to come, 10 years ago at her church, Jeannine Lee Lake started talking about the abortion she had in college.
Well, when I was a 17-year-old freshman at Ball State University, I experienced a date rape situation. It was very violent, and I went into what I say was kind of an emotional tailspin.
Lake says she also had a steady boyfriend at the time when she found out she was pregnant a short time later.
And I knew that at some point I would be a good mom, but I also knew that at 18 years old, barely 18 years old, that was not the time for me to do that.
So Lake, the daughter of a Christian pastor raised in the evangelical tradition, had an abortion.
I think I struggled with, will God love me if I make this decision? I struggled with, what if someone finds out that this is the decision that I've made?
She told her parents shortly after.
I didn't want to tell them at first because I blamed myself in a way.
More than 30 years later, though, Lake still believes she made the right choice for herself and hasn't shied away from discussing it in her previous 2 congressional campaigns in 2018 and 2020. Both of those runs for Indiana's 6th congressional district.
There were women that came out of the woodwork to tell me their stories.
And Lake is continuing to tell hers again during this campaign, something she feels even more compelled to share after Friday's overturning of Roe v. Wade.
Emily, I cried when I found out, and that is the truth.
Incumbent Republican Congresswoman Victoria Spartz, who Lake is challenging, tweeted out her response to Friday's ruling, saying, quote, "We should remember that in a constitutional republic, the Supreme Court has the ultimate say on constitutional issues. I support the court's decision and encourage my fellow Americans to respect it too, regardless of personal views." For Lake, it's all personal and private. She's gone public, though, in part to make a point.
People with level heads and good hearts might still choose abortion.
And like Lake, run for Congress, lending a first-hand perspective to the abortion debate.
It is really not a decision that I should be making for anybody else or anybody else should be making for me.